This week at Twisted Oz Motorcycle Museum with Jerry Ottaway, and we got some guys from Henderson from the Singles Club, and I ain't sure if that's Dayton or the Single Motorcycles. Then we got some boys here that say that they farm both sides of the line in Nebraska and Kansas. Welcome to Twisted Oz. Jerry, what do we have today?
We've got a 1914 Excelsior twin. It was built by Schwinn Bicycle Company. Kelly has rode this on the Cannonball in 2016. They rode 3,600 miles across the United States from Atlantic City to right near San Diego. They could do about 300 miles a day if they didn't have any trouble. He did have some problems though. The gas tank split open on the second day out, and he had to go to Tractor Supply and buy this tank that's on the back, run a rubber hose to the carburetor and got going again. The brakes, front and rear, also went out early on. He rode about 3,300 miles with no brakes. The exhaust system, the muffler blew up on him, and he got some guy to help him out one Sunday morning, and he also he got the guy to, this is part of the exhaust system here that fell apart, but he got some guy to help him, and they had a little trouble finding the right size tubing, and then the guy remembered his kids had a trampoline in the backyard, which he said he never used. They didn't use anymore, so he cut the trampoline up and straightened the pipes and got him going again. And the bike would run about 10 miles an hour faster without a muffler on it. Evidently had too much back pressure. But and he had some valve problems and things, but he always said it was a perfect ride. There's no more problems than he had. So and we have Jack Robertson here. He's the president and owner of the Four-Stroke Singles Motorcycle Club out of Hutchinson. Glad to see him again.
What's a singles guy doing on a V-twin?
Well, yeah, that's disgraceful, isn't it?
It's going to be a challenge.
You're going to have a lot of members going to question you on this.
I know. I'm going to have to do some explaining.
Do you think you can make a fire up for us today?
I'm going to try.
Let's see what happens.
Okay.
We're going to test his
You want
abilities here.
Yeehaw!
Did you take one spark plug wire off so it'd be a single?
I should have.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Jerry, where did this bike come from? I was going to go to Vegas and pick up a bike for the 16 Cannonball, and Jerry said, "Oh, don't be doing that." So.
Yeah, I told him to come over and see me, and he could pick out how many cylinders he wanted and what color and year. So this bike, and we bought 4 others from the John Dillon collection, who had the Dillon stores in Hutchinson for years. He called one day and he said he just turned 80 and he's ready to sell his motorcycles. So we'd been kind of keeping track of him so we could buy him at some point in time. But anyway, this is part of the Dillon motorcycle collection.
Guys, any questions that you have for Jerry about this motorcycle today?
Where are you driving the spark off the front from the?
From the Magneto.
Is that a mag on the front?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
And you go through a few mags. It's hard to get a good mag, and you get some moisture in there and stuff, like a tractor or anything else. That's one of your number one problems that you have going across the United States is keep a good mag with you. And the brakes is another one Jerry was talking about. That was my brakes going across the United States, a little heavy on the left. But there's your young boy I was telling you about today that's farming up there by the Nebraska-Kansas line. He went through his boots in about the first 2 or 3 days. He was a little heavy on his brakes on the 21 Cannonball, but he completed all of his miles. His name was Keegan. Great guy.
So how fast can you run?
We cruised about 43 miles an hour was an average speed. A lot of times, if the Hendersons would pass me, I always thought the bike was getting a little happy and she'd run up to about 55. It wasn't, I was drafting. And I didn't realize that in about halfway across the United States, and I figured how I could cheat and get away with it. So I had some big guys get in front of me, and they'd just suck me right in and pull me over the hills. It was pretty nice. Well, guys, thank you for coming to Twisted Oz. If you have any questions or anything, give us a holler anytime. We're open Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays from 10 to 4. Mr. Jerry Ottaway, what would you like to add to that?
Well, I'd like to add that we have 160 motorcycles on display. All but about 4 or 5 of them are runners. We fire them up, try to run them every 6 months. And we've got over 30 now that's over 100 years old, oldest being a 1905 Indian. 43 different makes of motorcycles. Since 1900 up through about 1960, there's been right at 250 motorcycle companies in the United States. Everybody always hears about Harley and Indian, but there were others. Some of these companies, they were all incorporated. Some of them probably didn't build any motorcycles, but we do have